Hello, everyone, and welcome to another exciting episode of Respecting the Beer. I am Decker, and we would have Gary here, but he got lost in a vat downstairs. He saw the Lucre faucets, and Bobby was like, yeah, making lagers. And he was like, let me see. And he hopped in, and it turns out you don't float in beer. You just sink to the bottom. So he's making his way.
Said?
Yeah, I think they definitely an Archimedes things. But Bobby, how's it going today? The sun is shining. It's a beautiful day in northeast Wisconsin.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, we're sitting here with Jamison and Delaney. I think it was in this room I met you guys.
Yeah.
Maybe I met you before
we
that.
met during Lagerfest, if I remember correctly.
And I was in the process of burning up our second receiver in 24 hours.
Yeah.
And you have AV background, so that was fun for you.
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit. They were just talking in like a foreign language before, Jamison and David, before we got things going. And I walked in. I thought I was at the wrong place because they were saying XLR. That's the only thing I remember. And then there were so many acronyms that now my head is spinning.
I am self-conscious. We just connected our 1970-something vinyl through some 1970 receiver today through a Bluetooth.
Oh, nice.
So I just did that last night. I felt very accomplished on that one.
Honestly, that's a win.
Yeah.
Analog to digital, back to analog.
I don't know how the audiophiles feel about that, but
probably not great.
We're good.
But we're not talking about AV equipment tonight. We're talking about homebrewing, something I think we all have enjoyed here. And Jamison and Delaney, tell us about what got you into the art of homebrewing?
I would say probably the idea of what makes a good beer, and then also we just like happened to be like sitting at McFleshman's and we're like, could we try this? And that's kind of how it started. I feel like is just like, can we do this? Mm-hmm. Can we not do this? And then it just spiraled.
And into somewhere you go to, will we, should we?
Should we?
Yeah.
Do we?
Yeah.
I don't know. Mm-hmm. It was a lot of that. And then it eventually turned into, well, let's try a 1 gallon. And then it turned into, let's try a 5 gallon. And then now it turned into, we have a Brewzilla fermenter.
Oh.
Yeah.
And now we're like extracting the yeast, or like, that's too much yeast.
Harvesting yeast from old projects and like keeping it. All right.
Is it so the Brewzilla has like you screw on the thing and the bottom and it collects the yeast? That's really cool.
Yeah, it's come in handy with our most recent one. I've realized that Safe 04, the English ale yeast, man, if I put that in my plastic bucket on a 5-gallon batch, it would have blew the top off.
Oh, yeah.
It was wild at 70 degrees exactly.
Yeah.
That's what it's sitting at 90% of the time. I'm like...
That yeast is very sticky, and it makes a huge cap. What's that?
I put my hand in it when I extracted it. I'm like, this feels like putty.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I love that stuff, though.
It's weird, but it's so cool.
We call it beer porn. We have an open fermenter here, and
nice.
we can see that happen in real time. We have an English yeast usually on display. Yeah, and they catch me just staring at it like a pervert.
One time I accidentally did an open fermentation because my cap wasn't clean when I was putting everything in. So I was like, I guess we'll just open ferment this one for at least right now. And it was a good thing I did because I was using the English ale yeast making an IPA, and it was like all the way to the top. Like it would have pushed out the airlock.
And those yeast will pump up the pressure to 20 bar if you had
It was
to.
crazy, man.
300 psi. It's insane what they can accomplish.
We normally switch between 04 and 05 for a lot of our stuff because
that's your English and your American.
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So like we've really switched between those two because we're in an apartment. We can't really get like a dedicated kegerator to ferment in that's big enough, and we can't really put it under pressure because we're like, well, we're in an apartment. Yeah, let's buy like 10 pounds of CO2 and see what happens. I mean...
They generally frown on it. The landlords do, which is another reason why they should abolish landlords. But
that took a dark turn.
No, when I first did homebrewing, I was in an apartment. I made a one of those Mr. Brew kits. And I made an American light lager, which certainly was not lagered, nor was it light. But I remember, like, like thinking going into it, I have all this stuff that I need for this. Like I have a bucket. They came with a bucket. I got the paddle. I got everything. And then I was making a trip to Walmart at like 2 a.m. and be like, I guess I need a bigger pot because I got to boil this thing, and I need a strainer for all this other. Like it's such a spiral to like get into it, and but the end. You're like, even if it's kind of crummy, it's still like you made it, man. So it's a fun hobby.
And the industry's come a long ways with equipment.
Oh, yeah.
You can do very little and accomplish a lot at the same time. It used to be the opposite. You'd have to go. Home Depot was your homebrew store back in the day.
It is cool to see that now there's like we were talking about the Brewzilla type of that started after I started homebrewing, where like it was just buckets. You had white, can't see through buckets, and you had clear glass carboys and stuff, and that was it.
I am scared of the glass carboys.
I was going to say, I actually
I'm
shiver every time I hear that. I
Yeah.
still do it myself, but I still am so nervous messing with glass
We
carboys.
borrowed one carboy once from one of our friends who wanted to homebrew with us. He ended up buying a bunch of used stuff, one of which was this big glass carboy. And we needed to use the fermenter, and it was already done fermenting, but we weren't ready to bottle, so we decided to secondary in it.
Yeah.
And we were so terrified of breaking that thing.
Did you have like the basket that goes around it so you can actually
No.
pick it up by the handles?
No.
Yeah. So
It was-
did you have a plastic handle at the top that you
No,
picked it up
nothing.
by?
Just straight
It was
glass.
just big glass.
I've got one of
boy.
those at my house right
Yeah.
now. It's tucked away, far away.
We also
Yeah.
have 2 dogs, and one of them
God.
is a 100-pound blue tick coon hound who is scared of all of the wood floor, and there's no carpet in our apartment, realistically. So he just
Okay.
like slips and slides all over the place.
Woof.
No
No
kidding.
pun intended.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yikes.
That was. David's laughing at my terrible, terrible pun there.
Put it on the soundboard. Let's
Yeah.
go. So,
right.
your homebrew experience. What was the first beer that you brewed?
So the very first one we did was yours. The first kit. Was it an Irish?
It was an Irish red ale. It
Yeah.
was an extract kit, a 1 gallon. It was not an Irish red ale. It was what I would call a light Irish red ale.
Sure.
And we ended up, after that one,
We tried the
I think
Saison.
we tried the Saison, and then we learned that Saison is picky. And you should
yes.
probably get your water quality figured out before you even try a Saison.
We had battery acid.
We got battery acid,
yeah.
which I don't know how.
Temp is really important on the saisons too. Like
Yeah.
you have to have like a what's it called, ink bird, so you can like change ramp it up so it doesn't do it's
Also
crazy.
patience. It goes into this
Yeah,
dormant
patience.
phase at
Ugh.
the end of, so it metabolizes a certain segment or portion of the sugars, and then once it finishes those, it just sits idle for who knows how long. And even monks, they'll brew with the Belgian yeast, and even in their cellars they have signs that say in their own language, "Shh, respect the fermentation." However you translate that, no one speaks anywhere near the fermenters. And some of that's because they're monks, but some of that's because this damn yeast is so cantankerous.
Yeah. We found out the hard way because we bought 2 of that kit, so we tried it twice. And we're like, let's pop it into like a calculator. And we're like, it's missing a little bit of grain. Well, we have rice. Let's try adding rice to it. Bad idea.
It somehow came out worse.
Yeah.
Worse than battery acid.
Yeah.
The more battery acid. It went
It
from
was like battery acid with cardboard and rotten eggs.
Okay.
yeah.
Wow.
It was not a
There's
great
3 hours right there we can cover.
There's so much that went on with that.
So bad with that one because at that point, that was before we learned that our sanitizer wasn't sanitizer.
Oh no.
Yeah, so we bought
wow.
PBW, and someone told us that it was sanitizer. And then we
okay.
found out Star Sand is sanitizer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're like, so
Yeah.
PBW, do we keep it? And they're like, no, keep it. It's a good cleaner.
Well,
Like,
interesting
cool.
thing about PBW is it's actually food.
Yeah.
So it could, if you had any potential contaminant, it really just exacerbated that at the same time.
Yeah.
So if there is an acid coming from a wild yeast or bacteria, I'm just throwing it out there. If there wasn't a final rinse with you said you were using Saison or
Star Sand.
Sand. Yeah. If you didn't do that, then there's possibility you just put in a culture.
Yeah, I think that's what happened.
You
with
made the
that one.
wildest of wild beers.
We made a wild beer.
Yeah.
A wild American Saison.
A wild American acid flavored
There you
Saison.
go. Right on.
Hey, that's a lot of buzzwords. That would sell.
Yeah,
No,
that would,
that's not
that would
good.
definitely sell.
The ones that we did bring, though, were from our 5-gallon batches, and this was our first one. that we tried in Oktoberfest. It was also an extract kit.
So everything's extract, right? So far?
No.
No.
Oh,
This is the only extract.
This is the only extract. That's okay. Yeah.
We,
The other
we
two are
have
grain.
switched to grain.
Yeah, we've switched
Yeah, yeah.
to brew in a bag method.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Awesome.
So, which is honestly a lot nicer
Yeah.
than
is,
extract.
I never did it, but I was
Really?
I always wanted to learn it. I mean, it's how Australians do it. I think
Yeah.
it comes from Australia.
Yeah,
They
it's-
also do this thing where they'll put hot wort into a cube and they'll just let it cool overnight. So it's in a sanitary cube that can handle boiling temps. So they don't even bother chilling it. That's like the way that homebrewers go.
Imagine
done-
having that much time.
Yeah. Yeah.
We've done something a little similar when we had that big snowstorm not that long ago of like the whatever 20 some odd inches that we
Yeah.
got. We collected snow and
Yeah.
we put it around one of the, well, actually the last brew that we tried. That's how we cooled it because we didn't have a wort chiller. None of these
Absolutely.
were cooled with a wort chiller.
But you're
The new
surrounded
one
by
that we
the
did
Arctic
wasn't
here.
with a wort chiller.
That is
So-
the good thing
There
about
are perks.
homebrewing in the
Yeah.
Northwood. That's how
Yeah.
when I made my first stout, I had to cool it off by sticking it outside in a snowbank for
Yeah.
a long time.
We ended up just collecting it in like a big Tupperware, and we just surrounded the metal
Nice.
pot with just as much snow as possible.
Yeah.
That was fun.
I love this is what's so exciting about home brewing is because
love home brewing.
like if you're a pro brewer right now listening that never had this experience, you're probably losing your mind because like think of how unsanitary that is. Think
Oh,
how
yeah.
like how like thinking of like collecting snow and just throwing it at a stainless steel pot
But
to
it's
cool it
so
off.
ultra traditional.
Oh,
like
yeah.
if you want to go
Yeah.
back thousands
Yeah.
of years.
It's so wild though, because like when I was doing it, I'm like, am I gonna add something to my beer that I don't want?
yeah, or
We
you do.
put the
but
lid on the pot.
Yeah,
to
we did put the
avoid
lid.
as
Yeah.
much potential
Yeah.
contaminant.
it's totally fine. It's totally fine. There's nothing in the air at these temperatures anyway
Yeah.
that you were doing. All right, make a sound effect with this.
Yeah, let's see if it works. Nice.
Got it.
I got it. Okay, I am probably going. Oh, okay.
I got the silhouette of the CO2 coming out as well.
There you go. All right, I'm gonna kind of pass that along.
It is
here. You
slightly-
can do yours.
It's slightly questionable on how carbonated this might be.
Yeah, the one that's gonna be
Is this
really
bottle conditioned,
carbonated.
or how'd you?
So we did the actual it's like the bigger sugar drops. They look like
Sure, the carb drops. Yeah, they look like
not the small ones, but the ones that look like your grandma's like cough syrup
sure, yeah.
drops.
Okay. Oh, the hard sugar
Yeah,
ones.
the hard
Oh,
sugar
okay,
ones.
Gotcha.
And those were the ones that we did for this one. And well, we did it for. I think we did it for all of them. We're now our
Yeah.
new one that we're doing. We're trying a blonde ale, and then the next one that we're doing is a British golden ale.
Okay.
For my brother-in-law. Yeah.
Nice.
So
We
But
got
yeah.
2 extra.
cool. Why not?
Look at that though. That's nice and fluffy.
It's got the color
Yeah.
of a darker Oktoberfest.
And this you said was an extract kit?
Yeah, this was an extract kit.
This is one we got from the local brew store down in Oshkosh.
Cellar?
They
Yeah.
make their own
Shout out to
kits,
them.
and this is one that she recommended to us since he loves Oktoberfest.
Yeah. And all the ingredients that we got for all of our beers was from them as well.
It's really sweet.
I'll be honest, tasting this again after I don't know how long ago we brewed this, a few months ago.
Yeah, and it stayed in the fridge the entire time.
It tastes entirely different.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that we've started to notice recently is our beer is not staying one flavor at all.
Yeah.
So there's no consistency in drinking one from this week to next week.
Sure.
So that's our next challenge.
Well, I think that goes with the bottle conditioning, right?
Yeah, this is like, in a way, even though this is German, this is how the English make their beer. They put it in firkins, cask, and they let it condition. But this is a tiny little cask, right? It's a little
Yeah.
bottle that it's alive, so it's changing in real time. The yeast are taking up the oxygen; they're actually keeping it from being cardboardy. That's one of the things you mentioned earlier. But they're also dying. You know, at some point they start to die, and when they do, they split open, and there are some enzymes that break out from their interns, and those enzymes break down the bubbles. But the bubbles are beautiful in
Yeah.
this. This has got a great texture to it, great color for a Marzen, Oktoberfest.
And this is what my favorite part about bottle conditioning stuff is like how much the head just stays. because
Oh, yeah.
it's just
There's this weird
so
thing,
much-
and I subscribe to it, I guess, is that when you bottle condition or you naturally carbonate something, that the bubbles are obviously starting out as molecules before they become these bubbles. So there's this idea that you can make like creamier foam by doing bottle conditioning.
Huh.
But CO2 is CO2. And the scientist hat, I'm like, it doesn't matter where it comes from. But in practice, anecdotally, it seems to we do it with all of our beers that we can get away with it. And it seems to make better foam.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
I think
it's fascinating.
I think we're going to switch over to priming sugar for our next one.
Yep.
We just got to figure out the math of what a 4-gallon batch is for priming sugar.
Yeah.
Which isn't hopefully too hard. We'll find out.
No, it won't be hard.
There's so many homebrew calculators that you can just do that.
I just hope I don't explode my Fermzilla.
Oh, you need a lot of
Is
sugar.
it pressure
in there to do
rated?
that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's pressure rated, luckily.
The 15 PSI?
I think you could do 30 in there.
I think you
'cause they
can do 30.
That's where
Ooh,
people
wow.
do like pressure ferment lagers inside of that.
Yeah.
That's what
Nice.
I've seen.
It's like we were doing some research after we bought it. People have been using it as a keg.
Nice.
Which scares me.
Yeah,
Which-
I don't know if I would
I think
serve
that
out of
would-
it because like the geese cake is in there and
Well,
there's all
but it's
the
a cone, so you
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
you can
right,
pull
but
the,
you'd still have like you'd have to drop a lot, you know?
yeah, and the English yeast will never drop, so it'll always
Right.
be on top.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we're finding out that one on the hard
Yeah.
way. We've
Yeah.
probably extracted the yeast twice, and we're like, how is it still here?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there's still another like 3 cups worth of yeast that I could pull out of it if I wanted to.
So on this beer, Decker was talking about the sweetness. That really comes, I think, because you're using extract in this.
Yeah.
You don't have a lot of control over the fermentability of this, and generally, extract beers will be higher on the or less high on the fermentability, so they're sweeter in the end. The recipe itself, they probably use a good amount of. Now you added some caramel malt to this, right?
So there is a little bit of...
You steep that, probably?
You steeped, I think it was Munich malt, if I remember
okay,
correctly.
so no like Cara Munich at all.
I don't think so.
Caramel
It's been a
Munich?
while since
Yeah.
I made this one, so I could be
It might be
incredibly wrong.
a Cara Munich that
Yeah.
that they have you steep with that mixture of the extract and the water.
They did give us like 3 of the like jars of Munich extract, and we're like, well, what
Oh,
if
yeah.
we like put a little water in here and just like shake it up and get all of it out? And I'm
Yeah,
like, I
yeah.
don't know if we need to, but
and that's
why
certainly
not?
a signature for doing an Oktoberfest. Is
Okay.
it leans on Munich heavy, but you don't have control over how they made that. And we had Brees on here like a year ago or something, and Brees is a malting company 40 miles from where we're sitting, and they make a shit ton of this extract.
Oh, yeah.
You know, whether it's liquid or dry. And I don't know how much I wasn't here for that podcast, but I think they got into some of that technology. It's fascinating because you got to like go through the whole thing. Like they're mashing grain and they're making the wort, and then they're extracting the water from that wort to make either one of them. It's really fascinating. So you're at the mercy of however they made that when you're doing
Yeah.
extract.
Which is fun and a little chaotic.
Yeah,
That was
right.
the one that we had boil over all over the sink.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That was a fun cleanup.
You need a
Man.
Girl Scout badge. I have a daughter that's 7, and she gets these girl. Yeah, anytime that something like that happens on Homebrew, there ought to be someone make like these badges you can order because you haven't lived until you've had dry malt extract go airborne in steam in your kitchen.
Yeah.
You've never seen that kind of film in your life.
I will say, like, cleaning it off of the kitchen stove was probably the worst thing of my
Yes.
life.
Yes.
But I mixed in Dawn dish soap and PBW.
Yeah.
And I just let that sit for like an hour. And it
Nice.
just, like, got it all. I'm like, oh my God.
Again,
finally.
that's because you confine it to the stovetop. Remember,
Yes.
if you go airborne with a cloud of malt, dried malt extract with moisture, you're testing your marriage. You're
Yeah.
pushing the
You're
limits.
testing your marriage. I think I've made 8 batches of homebrew, and I have 8 boilovers with
man.
some form of like type of moment.
Are you doing it inside or in
Oh
the
no,
garage?
God no!
Yeah,
I did the first one inside,
I
and
did
the
a
wife
couple
said no more. No,
That was the one you left it unattended. You
Yeah.
had to go to the
you
bathroom.
left it unattended.
Oh my god!
I had to run to the bathroom
What could you
so
possibly
bad.
have to do?
I ran to the bathroom like, no, it's fine. It's sitting at 210. And then all of a sudden I hear Delaney, hey, Jamison. What? It's boiling over.
Yeah, you know,
What?
you know the watch pot never boils. It's the
Yeah.
opposite.
Yeah.
Definitely
Unwatched
opposite.
always boils.
Yeah.
So I was watching it, So I saw it start to rise, and I was like, "Is this
Jamison
bad?
watches it.
I don't know yet." And
The protein break.
and then it starts to go over the lid, and I'm like, "Oh crap!"
We brew on, of course, our system, but of course across the alley we help out with their 20 barrel system, so 600 gallons. And there have been times where we walk away from that, and there's a hole underneath that kettle that goes down to the basement. We'll go downstairs, we're washing kegs or something, and when that has a boil over, it might be 100 gallons of wort that come out the top.
Oh, no.
It is something to see. You've never seen that kind of a mess.
No, thank you.
I will say, from brewing all these beers, the one thing that I love about brewing beer so far is when I'm done, my house smells like a bakery.
Yeah.
It just smells like good baked goods, man.
Yeah, I brew outside, and I hope that the air like wafts off. It's like the smoke signal to a fellow home brewer. I tried to do it when I first moved in. I was like trying to direction the steam, and like I'll find someone, but
And you're obviously doing some hoppers or malty recipes right now, so eventually it's going to start to smell like herbal and grassy and citrus, and you get all these hops.
It's already started.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like,
That's with my blonde right now.
yeah, with the blonde, we used El Guapo and what was
El Dorado.
El Dorado. Thank you.
You're thinking of their beer.
I know. My brain is just.
We've been rebranding that lately, and it's been all that I'm thinking about. So you're saying that it's another one of those cringy moments.
Sorry.
No, it's all good.
no, thank you.
my dyslexia like mixes up words sometimes. But we did that one, and then we did Citra hops with it. And we realized, wow, Citra hops is strong.
Yeah. Also, it's kind of like the chef's secret.
Yeah.
If you combine Citra or its daughter, Mosaic, together, you almost get away with anything when you're making hoppy beers.
That's true.
I can see that.
Yeah.
You want to wow someone, just make a like dry hop with those two, and people are like, "Oh my gosh, this is really good."
Oh yeah. All right, another sound effect.
Not yet. I didn't open it yet.
What are we moving on to now?
I got a picture here, so we can start cleaning.
Yeah.
Glass
We should probably do that.
Yeah.
So the next one is my failed attempt at making an amber. I will call it a failed
Specifically
attempt.
an amber because you wanted to play with corn.
I wanted to play with corn, and I did too much corn.
He found out corn was something you can brew with and ran with it too far.
Yeah. So was this inspired by like a Kentucky Common or?
Yeah, it was inspired by Kentucky Common.
Yeah.
I think it was Lion Tails that did it was Lion Tails that did the first one that I'm like, dude, I really want to mess with corn because this was so good. And then I realized, wait a minute, I think it was 3 pounds of corn for a 5-gallon batch is a little too much corn.
A lot of corn.
Has a lot of corn.
Yeah.
So it's something like, what would that be on that batch? 30%? Would it be 25?
It's about 30% to
So 20 is
40%.
pushing it on most of that.
Yeah, I think I toned the other one down to like 10%.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, this is too much corn. But she says it tastes like cream corn in a can. I say it tastes like sweet corn. We're just going to bring it to the farmers probably.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's very. That was
I could tell that was going to be a really happy one.
This is where the home carbonation went crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is when we're like, carbonation. There we go. I'm so sorry.
On point.
I
That's
will help
okay.
you
That's
clean
why we
the
got.
table.
That's why we got tablecloths around here. Thank you to Cintas for their weekly washing.
I will say, I think the first week of us doing this one, when you first put it in the fridge on day like 4 of carbonation, I'm putting that in quotations because
It was
4
day
days
5.
isn't going to carbonate much of anything. I felt like I sipped from a fresh open can in my mom's kitchen of corn and Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And then you opened it again like 2 weeks later, and I was like, well, it's corn but bubbly. And
Sparkling
then
corn.
we had one yesterday with your parents, and it's entirely different. The corn's there, but it's not as I drank from a can of corn.
It's interesting that you say it's an amber because it's really.
I went
pale.
for a
They're
very
really
light
yellow,
amber.
Really yellow. Yeah.
But you can still taste the corn
Honestly,
in it.
I would call it. So, what'd you ferment with? Did you ferment with a lager yeast?
We fermented with 05.
Okay, so you could ferment with a lager yeast at room temperature, like you did with that, and that's how you pull off the Cal Common.
Oh.
So the Germans moved to San Francisco at some point. And they started making lagers out there, but you can't get down to the temperatures.
Yeah.
But you get reasonable temperatures, so they made steam beer. And they took their lager yeast and they let it ferment at 50 to 60 degrees as opposed to 40 to 50, and they invented a style. So for me, that's what you've brewed here, even though you've used an ale yeast.
Yeah.
That not that there's corn in that. I'm trying to recall what's in the Cal Common, but I think that it's an adjunct. I think corn is one of the
corn. Flake corn is in the California Common.
Yeah.
Because I think we used on this one, it was corn, it was Munich malt, and then I'm trying to remember the other one that we did, and I just don't remember off the top of my head.
app on your phone?
Well, I'm not getting the
So-
heavy, the corn that you guys were describing.
Yeah, no, it calmed down a lot.
It's calmed down so much. This is night and day different from the first one.
Yeah,
that
I
we
would say
drank.
Fascinating.
I would say this is more of like a corn bread that you're tasting. That I taste rather than like a cream corn.
I would
something
agree
that
with you
like-
on that.
Yeah, I can actually drink it now.
This is actually quite good, you guys.
Yeah.
The foam's nothing like the last one. I don't know if that comes down to. It's probably because you have some adjuncts in here. You have corn in it, so it dilutes the protein down.
So it was 3 pounds of corn, 2 pounds of normal Munich malt, and then 1 pound of honey malt. Which
Which is like a melanoidin and kind of a
Yeah.
It simulates that boiling of the grain process, the decoction process. Yeah,
it is a neat beer.
I like
I've
it,
given
man.
it to a couple of my coworkers, and they're like, "Yeah, it's corn." That's the
and-
note that I got was, "It's corn."
So the kit
corn.
came with a hop too, right?
No, this was all like my own
Okay,
recipe.
so what's the hop used?
The hop that I used was Cascade and Amarillo.
Okay.
So I
Nice.
did,
So you did
just
go
a
West
mix of
Coast.
those two because I'm like, these for one, they sound neat. They have pretty interesting like flavor profiles that I think would work.
Love those
with
hops.
This.
I'll die on a mountain. Cascade built the craft beer industry.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing.
But I from this beer I realized, okay, I might like that combo of Amarillo and Cascade for like the weird niche beers.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting with our next ones of where I want to use the rest of my Amarillo because I think I get like 1.2 ounces left.
Yeah.
In the freezer, just chilling.
How are you storing those, by the way?
In the freezer.
So,
in
like,
a plastic
you-
bag with another plastic bag.
Do you have the ability to seal that? Do you guys have those food savers?
I know my
Yeah.
mom and dad doing it. That's probably going to be what I'm going to end up doing. But I'm going to probably use that thing before it goes bad.
Yeah, and don't obsess anyway, because once it's in the freezer, any of those oxidative reactions, they're slowed down to almost nothing. So
Yeah.
you're good for a long time.
Yeah, we just got to figure out like because we ended up going to a website. I don't want to say what website, but we got like a sample pack of hops.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, do I need, since they're already vacuum sealed and everything, do I
Yeah.
need to put them in the freezer right away?
Yeah.
Do I not?
Yeah.
So we're kind of playing it by ear.
Temperature is key.
Yeah.
Man, I would drink pint after pint of this. This is so good.
Really?
This is my jam. I love California Common, and this is right there along with it.
What are the stats on this one? What did it come out at?
It came out at about 5%, and then I think it was like 23 IBUs. Let me grab.
When did you add was it like early that you would add the hops?
So
or
I
when
did I did basically half an ounce of Cascade at like, I want to say about 50 minutes, and then the rest of it was split up between 50 minute and 30 minute. So
If it were me, the only thing I would do is add more hops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I think the body and the mouthfeel are awesome.
I tried doing it like less hoppy because
Yeah.
a lot of me and my friends, we're not like really big into like super bitter beers.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm just going to like tone it down a lot.
Yeah.
And then like work my way up.
Yeah.
You know?
And you'll find when you bottle this, it's going to change in the
Yeah.
bottle. So you got to like go a little high, and it'll always drop in
Yeah.
hops. So
Yeah,
That's good to
I
know.
get a lot of that, like the honey note and like the corn sweetness honey note. And when you're talking about adding hops, I like the noble stuff when I'm making stuff. So I think because it's fun to add like a floral texture,
Yeah.
or, like flavor. And if you add like noble hops really late, like in the whirlpool and stuff, then that's when you're going to get like a daisy field type of feel.
Here.
And that might be something that
I'll show
might
you.
benefit here in this.
I'll
in
show you
beer.
this. This is the one that I'm doing for my brother-in-law. That's the British Golden Ale that I'm looking at doing. I just can't say the noble hops because my dyslexia will completely mess me up.
Tettnang and East Kent Goldings is
Thank
what
you.
you're going with. Yeah.
combining
That's
German and English.
Yeah.
Yeah, my
That's World War II, man.
my brother-in-law, he's from the UK, and he kept on telling me, he's like, I want a beer that tastes like home. And I'm like, now that I'm starting this homebrew stuff, let's just like send it. Let's do some research in grains. Let's do some research in hops.
Well, and I'll throw this out there because we were talking Cal Common and how this is sort of parallel to it. Northern Brewer. That's the hop, not the place that sells equipment, but the hop. It's a little bit woody, a little bit piney, a little bit minty, and it plays so well into this style too. So
Okay.
I'll add that to the conversation on that.
That's
I
the
will
beer
say-
that he's working on right now.
I think I am the person to blame on us not putting enough hops into things.
How dare you?
So
Oh, that's right.
I talked to you this
Yeah.
about after that podcast where you we were in the audience
Yeah,
for
yeah.
it. But I have that weird genetic quirk that makes hops taste awful,
Really? I'm sorry.
which is really hard for someone that wants to brew beer.
So what are you picking up on in, say, this beer? Other than we talked about the corn.
When we do them super low, I tend to not get that really nasty soap taste that I
Okay.
get from a lot of things.
Yeah.
I would say the biggest type of beer that absolutely ruins me is almost all IPAs,
Yeah.
Sure.
which is really annoying because I love the descriptions for every single one I've ever read.
That's what's so great about beers, like just their descriptions. But I'm really, have you all ever thought about like doing like Gruit, where it's like herbs and things that spice the beer instead of the hops? is
We've been
what
talking
they-
about doing like a pine needle IPA where
Yeah.
we just
Oh,
use
that'd be
pine
cool.
needles. I wonder if that might get
spruce
around.
tips type of
yeah,
thing?
Yeah, or spruce tips, yeah.
It's one of the things that I thought about. We were at Lagerfest and we were talking, was it Oat Brewing?
Yeah.
That they said that they have one that doesn't use any hops at their
Okay.
brewery. And so
Yeah.
that's on the list of breweries we have to go to at some point.
Well, they're going to be down the road in like how
A
many
year,
months?
probably.
3 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
breaking ground.
So I'm excited for that because they have a few that don't use hops at all. And I want to see if there's a huge difference in taste.
Yeah.
But I've gotten to the point where I can do most beer. I had my first IPA I could drink like last month.
That was the breakfast IPA from Noble Roots.
Yeah. And then he told
Okay.
me it's a fake IPA because that's only called an IPA because they dry hopped it.
Okay. Okay, but still,
fair,
I mean,
fair.
you're going to get a lot of oils by dry hop. So
Oh,
it's
yeah.
not the oils that are maybe throwing you. It may be the acids
So-
that are
Yeah.
that are hitting your tongue in a certain
Well, you
way.
could do like a hop shot then, right? Just do they still do those where it's like the syringe of just hop extract?
Yeah, I never got into that, but I know homebrewers
Yeah.
have
That's
access to
neat.
that.
When they were
yeah.
going for like, not to be super nerdy, but like when they were going for the 100 IBU
Oh
beers.
god, the
remember
IBU,
that?
IBU war. Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
100, yeah. And
Well,
so
and it's
people-
almost impossible because there's a saturation limit at like 90, so you just keep dumping it in. It doesn't do anything. But
this guy, I watched a video on YouTube of him doing it, and he took like the syringe of hop extract and threw it in the like right away. So it was just like so bitter, but it just looked like tree sap that he was
Yeah.
throwing in, but like
we have that. I
10
can bring
mils
that
of
out.
it into a 5-gallon batch. But I mean, if that's like, you don't have to do it like that, but if,
Perspective, we're using like 20 mil in a 20 barrel batch.
That's crazy.
So try to measure that out for a 5-gallon.
yeah.
I feel like that's like saying that like I quadruple barrel aged this beer. Like that's as crazy as it sounds to me for like the 100 IBUs of hops. It's just like I triple barrel aged this.
Yeah.
I don't know if I don't know.
Well,
It's
I
interesting.
knew a guy that was a hophead from California that he would go everywhere with this hop shot in his left pocket. So because he knew everything, nothing was going to ever hit the IBU that he wanted. So
He's just like
doctoring
man,
it.
Yeah, was that like 2010 that you met this guy? 2012?
Yeah, he definitely comes from the aughts. Yeah,
Man.
that was the dark ages, or however you want to look at it,
They
of
very
IPA wars.
bitter. You fall asleep and wake up with a pine tree coming out of your face.
Allison
Oh,
already
man.
threw me under the bus when I made that ice cream with that hop resin, didn't she? On this podcast.
Oh, yeah.
So I've been there, done that.
Yeah. Anyways,
It's killer. I like this.
yeah,
beer.
I think
Yeah.
that I've never had a corn beer.
Really?
No, that was
Without
the
no,
first.
you haven't had
well,
one that you
not
know of.
knowingly
Yeah.
had like a Kentucky Common. I've never like sought that style out. So that's interesting.
I
Very
was
interesting.
expecting this to be like you were describing this as like cream corn, and that for me is sometimes from a bacterial contaminant.
Yeah,
But-
that's the crazy thing about the home brewing journey is every time I taste the same thing that was brewed in the same kettle, it depends on when we put it in the fridge because we do not have space in our fridge for all
Yeah.
of we have like almost 100 jars in our pantry right
Oh,
now.
yeah.
Yeesh.
Yeah, we have about 120 bottles
I wouldn't know
ready to be
anything
bottled.
about this kind of obsession.
So
No idea what you're
It's-
talking
it's
about.
called-
As we sit in the brewery that Bobby made.
It's
yes.
called be friends with some of your local friends
Yeah.
that own bars.
Yeah.
Because they just toss the bottles, and I'm like, well, if it's
Yeah.
amber and I can use PBW and Star
Yeah.
Sand, why
Yep.
not just
Yep.
and reuse them?
Yep.
I mean, that's how I have all mine. So shout out to New Glarus for
Yep.
looking out for the home brewer.
The
Yep.
easiest label to remove
Yeah.
is the New Glarus
Yeah.
bottles.
Yep, definitely.
That's an inadvertent. I'm sure that was
I
not
love
planned.
it.
Or maybe it was.
I think it's
might have been
purposeful.
planned.
Yeah.
The boxes are perfect for it too. They,
Oh,
like they're
there's-
sturdy boxes, so
Yeah.
you can like age them in there. I have a
So-
whole garage full of these things.
So the story behind that,
Okay.
they went to have their boxes designed, and Deb Carey, who's Dan's wife, but she really runs the whole business. They finished the box. They brought it to her. She was not impressed. It looked like every other box on the shelf. She said, "What if we turn it over? Like turn the cardboard, the bad side out, and then print on that?" They said, "That's ridiculous." She says, "Trust me, it's going to look different than anything else on the shelf." That's why they look the way they do, because that's the bad side of the cardboard.
Yeah.
interesting.
Genius. She's so smart.
And
Wow.
they're
Yeah.
super easy to carry.
Yeah.
Like it's the best. Anyways, New Glarus, thank you for being here.
Yeah, no doubt.
No kidding.
So with Homebrew, you're able to experiment and really try. Have you met any other homebrewers in your area? Have you do you get together with some other homebrew brew club?
Yeah, so we went to our first meeting with the Green Bay Rackers, which is our local homebrew club. Immediately, we are like, we're going to join this group because they surrounded us with ideas.
Mm-hmm.
The second they were done with like the businessy part, it was, how long have you been brewing? What are you doing? How do you do this? You're not on well water. All of us are. And so when we started asking questions, our biggest thing, we just started trying to figure out the water chemistry,
Yeah.
which
Well, that's something that takes
It's-
years to get into, and you're already there in 4 months. That's like
Yeah.
this is my fault because I like puzzles.
oh yeah, water is really the
So-
last thing to touch, and you guys are already there.
I've
She
never even
also
done anything with it.
has a 75-gallon fish tank, so she's been dealing with
You've been dealing with water chemistry. Yeah, gotcha.
Because we have to keep that Playco alive.
Oh, yeah.
That's like 15 years old and like
Yeah.
yay big.
He's hitting
Oh,
probably
jeez.
he's almost 20 years old now.
Okay, never mind. I was
Okay.
wrong.
He's getting old.
I'm sitting here remembering that we did an herbiary episode out of Madison. Have you guys heard of the herbiary? They don't use a single hop cone. Like that's their whole shtick. And they made the case that you don't need hops at all to make beer. I have not even been to their place yet, but
Which
I
one's that
believe-
called?
It's called the herbiary.
The Herbiary.
I think that's what it's called.
Down in Madison, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I saw that pop up on Instagram, and yeah, they make everything, and that's like the old style you said, like
It's
Gruit
before
type of
hops
thing.
became part of beer.
I have a friend
Yeah.
who does home brewing that style, the Gruit, and I
Yeah.
asked him like, how long does it take? Like, what do you put together? And he's like, very, very hippie. Like he's walking barefoot through the woods
Oh,
to
yeah.
get the stuff that he's putting in his beers. But it's a really interesting taste that, just like any wild beer, you get that flavor of where you're from. And I think that is an important thing with beer to try to capture.
As much as half of us here are hopheads, at least half of us, I
I'm
think
a big hophead.
we understand that it's the newest ingredient to the party.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of other ingredients that have been used to balance out that sweetness over the years with beer.
Yeah.
So there's something to explore there is what I'm saying. You guys should maybe hit it up. Sounds like.
Yeah,
You'd
that's
definitely
one
be
of
the talk of the Homebrewers Club. That's for sure.
Yeah.
yeah, that's one of the fun things is there's so many avenues you can take with home brewing. You can go down the hop route of going through IPAs and different flavors because there's thousands of varieties of hops. That every time I look and I'm like, I'm looking for this flavor, there's like 50 options.
Yeah.
And then
And now they're making yeast that make hop flavors.
Yeah.
Have you heard of this? Like, oh my God. So we're in a whole new world.
not even to mention that there's liquid yeast, dry yeast,
Oh,
a
yeah.
million types of yeast in that category alone.
Yep.
But then there's all the additives. You can go spices, you can go flowers, you can pick fruit. There was a whole bunch of random chunks of wood at the brew store you could pick to throw into your beer.
Oh, yeah,
You can
the-
put
the
pea
foam.
flour and glitter in your beer like we did 420 today.
Oh, there you go.
So there's that.
Liddy.
It's really pretty.
Nice. Man. Well, before we go, we should get some worldly advice from the man who started as a home brewer. Now we sit in his brewery, Bobby.
Don't do it. if you're opening a brewery.
All right, that's the wrap. Well, thanks for respecting.
No,
the
it definitely is a labor of love, whether you're a home brewer or pro brewer. It's this whole thing connects you across all the times, and you guys have already seem to have drank the Kool-Aid, so to speak. So, yeah, we're always
drink the Kool-Aid. I think it's more of
The
like
Kool-Aid's not bad.
you had your first pale ale, and now here you are.
yeah, we're always here to help. I give my recipes and life lessons out, and I just love home brewing. I don't get to do it nearly enough.
Same. So thank you guys so much for coming in and sharing your passion of home brewing. I look forward to seeing some homebrew festivals and seeing you guys out there and trying some new beers and new experiments. It's going to be a whole lot of fun.
Yeah.
That's going to wrap up this episode of Respecting the Beer. The show is produced by David Kelso with music by Sarah Lynn Huss. Be sure to join the Facebook group to connect between episodes and support the show over on Patreon, where you can get uncut episodes, access to specially brewed beer, and more. Until next time, please remember to respect the beer.